Hi, I'm Starlette Baker, the Executive Director for Strongwater Farm, and we are here as part of Meet the Team Strongwater Series. And I am super excited to introduce Miss Becca, right? Becca, you've been a program instructor here for a little while. And kind of what I want to do is I want to get your story up and out with Strongwater, right? You've been involved in Strongwater for quite some time, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit. And then just like your passion and your hearts and your desire to learn, right? And always, progress moving forward. And then I'll get into a couple of things. Like, I can't stop talking about you right now. But anyway, so we'll start with going right into it. We will start with, how did you get introduced to Strongwater? Right? And just like the equestrian world and becoming an instructor and all of the stuff that has to relate with like you.
Yeah. So I learned about Strongwater because I was looking desperately for an internship mid-COVID for my graduate program.
But that was interesting.
And the one thing I wanted more than anything else was to do equine-assisted psychotherapy.
Right.
And so I had my counselor program director reach out to Strongwater to see if they did equine facilitated psychotherapy, and they said no. But the director at the time said, you know who takes interns is Tewksbury Hospital, and we work with them.
Okay. That's
and
good.
So the program director reached out to Tewksbury Hospital, to Jen over there, and to Greg, and they confirmed that they do work with Strongwater. And so I interviewed with them and ended up getting the internship, thank God. It changed the trajectory of my life. It really did.
Very good for us too.
And started working as the substance use disorder clinical intern up there. And as soon as I was accepted up there, I came right over to Strongwater and was like, how do I become a volunteer?
Right. I can see that.
And that's exactly what I did. Stacy was fantastic in guiding me through the volunteer process. And it was kind of love at first sight here. I was leading in lessons. I was sidewalking in lessons. I was doing barn work here and there where I could. And I was just completely enamored with the process here. I'd been to several therapeutic equestrian centers in the past. I'd volunteered in the past and loved my time there. But there was something so special about Strongwater that really just called to me. My family noticed it. My fiance at the time noticed it. And in fact, my fiance at the time who would not get near a horse ended up volunteering here. And ended up, through the careful guidance of the staff here, ended up leading horses, riding horses, sidewalking, doing barn work, and became one of my most trusted leaders in some of my lessons.
I bet. I bet.
So if that speaks anything to why I was like, oh my God, I need to do more of this.
Yeah. Right.
And so I was working with an instructor one day, and I said, how did you get to do this?
Right.
What do you have to do this? And she told me the process, and I sat on it for a little bit and said, okay, so let me finish up grad school, and then this is something I want to pursue. And so I finished up grad school, and I immediately went to Stacy, who was my closest contact at the time. And I was like, how do I get this process started?
Right.
And she said, you got to talk to our executive director. And so I did. And I talked to our program director at the time as well. And between the three of them, they were like, yeah, let's get you started. Actually, do you want to start tomorrow on your mentor program?
That is wonderful. You must have built quite a name for yourself to be accepted so easily and so well. Like, you had that connection, that relationship. It was great.
I was very, very grateful to be put in some of the more challenging lessons that we had, where I was hopefully able to prove that this was something that I was really passionate about. And I'm hoping that it was seen. And that's why people were like, absolutely, let's get you started. And so I was kind of thrown right into my mentorship program from there. And then through my mentorship program, completed that and became an instructor here, which started at the same time as I started my other job. It was, my start days are the exact same.
Oh, wow.
Actually. So
Awesome.
for both here and the hospital.
Lucky day.
It was fantastic. It was like quite literally the best day of my life. And I know that sounds so silly.
It doesn't. It sounds real.
But
That's
to
good.
be able to do what I love every day twice and have the privilege to get paid for it is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's something that I try really hard not to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets the privilege of going to work and loving what they do. Not everyone gets the privilege to do that, to have a hobby that they turned into a career that they love.
Yes.
So I try to always recognize that privilege and again, remember my roots. I started here as a, wide-eyed volunteer and
sounds familiar.
Yeah. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. The wide-eyed volunteer that just wanted to do more. How can I do more? How can I be more involved?
Absolutely.
And it blossoming into something beautiful.
Yep. 100%. All right. So how long did it take you to go through the mentee program and then really become that fully fledged instructor? And then what were some of the things that like you had to do as a mentee in order to get your instructor certification?
So I want to say I started in May, one of the spring M months.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
And I worked through the summer.
Okay.
And then in September I was hired.
Okay.
So, I started working on my mass instructor's license because in Massachusetts, we're the only state where you have to be licensed independently to be an instructor or independently with the state. But
right. So the state certification is one thing, the PATH certification is something else.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So I worked on that and you could do your CTRI kind of at the same time. If you cross your T's and dot your I's just right, you can do it at the same time. Michael, who runs the program, he's incredible.
He really is. Lots to say about him too. Anyway, sorry.
He was able to let me be flexible and work on both at the same time.
Yep.
So, because I was working in one of our more challenging lessons, it was hard on the horse, hard on the student. But when they worked together, and it was just so beautiful. It was such a beautiful lesson, but it was definitely one of more challenging lessons. And Cassandra, who was the instructor, the second I started mentoring, she was like, "You can take this lesson. I'm going to watch."
That's a huge confidence boost, I'm sure.
I was like, "Oh, maybe I am okay to do this. Maybe, this is what I am supposed to be doing." And because of her confidence in me, I had confidence in myself and I was able to take over that lesson and have so much fun with it. And I think the student had a lot of fun with it. It was so wonderful. And then I worked with Stacy and Stacy was like, "This lesson is super fun and also really challenging because it was 2 full teams at the same time, which is a lot to manage in your lesson."
No kidding.
And so Stacy was like, "Let's do that one so that you can get used to managing 2 full teams at the same time." And the way that she guided me through how to interact with 4 sidewalkers, technically, 2 leaders, 2 students, and and 2 horses and how to navigate that was so awesome. She is so down to earth and she was so friendly and allowed me to make mistakes in a way that were safe for everyone involved, but also emotionally safe for me.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like an idiot when I made mistakes.
No, she's really great about doing that.
So that also gave me so much confidence. And then I had 2 riders with Shannon who, they were walk trot students learning how to canter.
Yeah.
And that was actually the lesson that I had the least confidence in.
Why is that?
For some reason, the thought of teaching a student how to canter for the first time was so daunting. I remember my first time cantering and I was so excited to do it. And then I did it and I was terrified.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I had an instructor at the time who did a really good job of making it fun for me and helped kind of ease that anxiety. She would hop on the horse with me and we would canter together until I could do it on my own, which I do not recommend.
No.
But it was what
at home.
I needed.
Yeah.
And so I myself was a little nervous to take such a big leap with these riders. And to have such a big moment kind of rest on my shoulders for them. And with Shannon's guidance and helping me overcome my own fears, almost like transferred their fears onto me and vice versa. She did a really good job of being like, well, you know how to canter. You teach people at the canter. You've just never taught someone how to canter in a therapeutic setting before.
That's why I had to ask, like, why was that task so, like, why was that lesson so challenging? Because I know how brilliant of a writer you are. Like, I've seen it. We've seen videos and stuff like that too. But yeah, you're right. I guess it is just that teaching how to, because you know how to do it. Your horse that you ride knows how to do it, right? And that connection is already there. But to explain that in a lesson, I guess is a little bit different.
And with 2 students, and again, the therapeutic setting, for some reason was like, I felt extra pressure to make this feel extra safe for them. But again, with Shannon's reassurance, she actually was like, why don't I teach one and you teach the other? So you can see how I do it, and then you can take what you like and what you didn't like and apply that onto how you teach the other.
That's good.
And she's so fantastic to work with. I can't say enough great things about the people who made me the instructor that I am. And yeah, I had quite a few lessons with Ellie who really, really taught me to like stop, pause, and it's okay that lessons, go slower than you expect. It's okay to stop and rewind and go back and look for the balance and find that in your lessons and have your students find that as well.
She's amazing at that. To watch her be able to go slow and be comfortable in that silence. So many people are not comfortable with just standing back and just watching in silence because they feel like task. Ellie is just, anyway, she's just beautiful to watch. So much grace, so much finesse. So yeah, I can understand that.
So she taught me the difference between being task oriented and just letting things happen as they do and letting the therapeutic value of that really shine through. And so I like to think that I am, and of course, Cassandra, who is just so sweet and sing-songy and fun and brought that to every single lesson she taught. Every single lesson.
You never think that she'd ever have a bad day.
No.
Because she just is so positive.
So I just like to think that I'm a culmination of all of the great, strong, knowledgeable, powerful women who taught me. And that's what I try to bring to all of my students is the great and valuable lessons that the instructors here taught me.
I would have to say, like, those are definitely key names to connect with, key people to connect with, because they have each unique different talents and way they approach conversations with clients or, with families and stuff. And bringing different things to the table. But more so, like, hats off to you for putting yourself into that conversation and accepting their advice and accepting their help and their understanding of what to do and making it your own, right? You have your own unique style here too. And it's just, I don't know, it's great to watch. I'm definitely in awe. Like the lesson that I saw you earlier today, I had to take some pictures. And some of the backgrounds, some of the clients that you work with, it's just like they're extra special. Like to me specifically, they're extra special. And it's just like you are the right person with that student and connecting with that exact family. So yeah, anyway, lots of great things.
Thank you. And I think it's important as instructors, like we have 2 new amazing instructors. New is a relative term for them. And so continuing to watch their lessons and learning from them. Kaylee has such an amazing way of bringing even the heaviest kind of air to a lighter sense. She has a beautiful way of incorporating physicality in her lessons and explaining biomechanics in a way that I can digest, which is huge.
I get that.
And Jane just has this beautiful, quiet presence that works so well with our students and allows them the space to be them. And again, those are two things that I struggle with silence. I love to listen to people talk. I like to talk. And I struggle with silence. And so Jane has been really big in me becoming comfortable with that.
Yep. That's good. Yeah. That's good all around. Now, you express a lot of love and admiration, right, for the team, for the horses and stuff, and for Strongwater. What got you into this equestrian space? Like, how long have you been riding? Like, what's your connection? What's your background? Stuff like that when it comes to the horse world.
So I'm a lifelong horse lover.
Okay.
I joke that I came out the womb loving horses. I don't know what I like. My first thought of consciousness is like, I loved horses. Bullseye from Toy Story, Woody's horse. That was I loved that character.
Yep, and the horse in Rapunzel.
Yep.
Or Tangled, whichever.
It was it was the horse in Barbie a Swan Lake.
Oh, okay, got it.
So, and I loved them. There was something about them. I just felt so drawn to them my entire childhood. When I was 2, my mom got me lessons. I rode a horse named Donder.
2?
2.
Wow.
I rode a horse named Donder.
Brave girl.
My love for horses knew no bounds. And I was on a lead line on this, what seemed like a massive animal. Turns out he was only like 15.3.
Yeah.
But when you're 2 and about like 2 feet tall, 15.3 is huge.
Yeah.
And I did lead line walking and a little bit of trotting. And at the time, then we weren't able to afford lessons anymore. And it was at the same time that the instructor's like, I don't really know what else to do in our lessons because she's 2.
Yep.
There's not much more. She can't go off lead. That's a safety risk.
Yep.
We can't do any more trotting because she's done all that her muscles can do. And we're sure as heck not cantering.
Nope.
And so that combined meant that I had to take a break. And then we moved. And as soon as we moved, my mom found a new barn for me to go to.
Aww.
So I started riding again when I was 7.
Okay.
And I started at, I can only describe as the most perfect barn for me at that time.
Okay.
I started riding saddle seat. And I didn't enjoy it a lot. I loved the horses. I was a barn rat. My mom would drop me off at 7 a.m. every Saturday and pick me up at 7 p.m. I had my first cell phone at 7 years old only so that I could call my mom when I was ready to get picked up.
Yeah.
And she could be like, hi, are you dead?
Right.
Every Saturday I did that. And then I would work. And I mean, I don't know, this probably is illegal. But I would be 7 years old cleaning 15 stalls and exercising horses and turning out and turning in, and then I would get free lessons.
Yeah.
So I don't know what child labor laws that broke, but I was so happy to be breaking them.
Right.
And I did that on Saturdays and sometimes Sundays, and then I had my lesson on Thursdays.
Right.
And my mom was a trooper. She drove me 35 minutes to these lessons 3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, and then I fell more in love with doing hunt seat.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's kind of like it's hunt seat. It was like hunt seat pleasure. So it wasn't like hunter jumper.
Okay.
It was, you were using that hunt seat saddle, but you were more like equitation based, if that makes sense.
Okay. I will look that up.
It was like a flat riding.
Okay.
It's very popular in like the saddlebred Morgan and quarter horse world.
Okay.
And I really liked that. And then I was dabbling in some Western for a while because that was really cool.
I like the Western saddles with the horn and stuff, like the oh my goodness handle.
Yes,
right.
They're very secure. And then I got my lease horse. Her name was PJ. She was a Grula quarter horse, and she was my everything.
Yeah.
She knew the sound of my mom's car, and she would whinny when she heard us pull up in the parking lot and run to the edge of the gate. She was my everything.
You were her person.
And my God, did that horse save my life on so many occasions. I was a dumb 12-year-old, and I was like, we can ride with no tack and no helmet and blah, blah, blah. And there was very little supervision, and so I absolutely did. And there were so many situations in which I could have died, and she very much so ensured that I did not.
Right.
She took very good care of me. And then PJ moved. Her owner moved her to another barn, and so I went with her.
Yeah.
As much as I had loved my previous barn, and they taught me a lot, I was not letting go of PJ. And so now we were driving 45 to 50 minutes to this barn.
That is dedication.
And I was doing eventing.
Okay.
So, which was wildly different.
Seems like it.
Than what I was doing before. So I felt like I had to relearn riding.
Okay. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No. And I had a fantastic trainer, Trisha, who was so kind and so patient with me and really took me under her wing and allowed me the freedom to grow while also not letting me have as much freedom that I had previously had for my own safety. So that was very appreciated.
Yeah. She kept your confidence in check, I'm sure.
Yes. So we were supposed to buy PJ, and then one day went to the barn. She was gone.
Gotcha.
Which broke my heart.
I bet.
But there was only so much we could do. So I stayed in Trisha and helped me get through that.
Yeah, of course.
She was fantastic. She kind of saw me searching for another horse to connect with. And so she put me on this horse, Gazelle. She was a Canadian cheval, and she loved jumping. She was terrible at it, but she loved it. And Trisha really paired me with her and allowed me to kind of build that connection with her. And at the same time, I had found a new group of friends there, and life was really good. And then I went to college, and I had to say goodbye to that life. And I started doing hippotherapy and volunteering there.
All right.
And
that's the physical therapy.
She was a speech pathologist.
Okay, speech. I'm sorry. Okay.
But yes, hippotherapy is like, it could be PT, OT, speech pathology.
Okay. I still have a lot to learn. Okay.
And I worked with Toby, and Toby was fantastic, and she saw how much I loved the horses, and so she gave me her own little project horse. It was her husband's horse who had been having some issues, and so she let me work with him, and I worked with him all the time, and he was such a fun gelding, and his name was Atticus.
Okay.
And he was so wonderful. And then she had me working with some of her other horses. She was just so kind to me and shared her horses so freely with me.
Yeah.
At a time where I really needed them. I was, coming home from school and going, I don't have a home anymore. And she was, here is your new home.
Yeah.
And offered that again so freely for me, and allowed me to take pictures with her horses. And you know how you are when you just want pictures of you riding and all that. And she was wonderful. At the same time, I was doing IHSA. Yeah. So I was competing against other schools, riding horses that you had never met before, and then you had to compete on them, which was super fun. And I did that for my freshman year. And then I found that as school got more intense, I had less time for that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do that my sophomore year, my junior year, my senior year. But continued to keep in touch with horses. My friend had a horse. She would occasionally let me hop on him. I would occasionally work at the the barns that she was working at for like a little extra cash when I needed it. Because in college, you can never have enough little extra cash.
Right.
So I worked at barns here and there for whatever barn she was at the time. I'd be like, do you guys need help?
Yep.
And then I'd catch a couple of hours with them. And then by the time I came here, it had been like 5 years since I'd ridden, which kind of like broke my soul a little bit. But it was...
So that was one of the reasons why I'm sure you were so just like, yes, let me do this. Let me do all the things Strongwater, just so I can get back into it and make up for those 5 years.
Yeah, I needed it. Yeah. I really, really did. I know this sounds crazy. Horse people are kind of weird, but it felt like a whole piece of me was missing, not having horses in my life again. And going through that period, you know, I was busy. I was doing grad school. My school had just shut down, had closed, and I was starting a new school. COVID was running rampant, and life was really crazy and hectic. And I felt like that was a time where I could have used horses the most, and that was when they were the least accessible to me throughout my entire life. And so I came here, and it was like, oh.
Yes, perfect time.
Yeah. So that's kind of my journey with horses. I've kind of done a little bit of everything.
Okay. All right. And then when it comes to actually wanting to teach, like what drove you between doing all of the stuff yourself, right? And being that person in the saddle, what's been that transition? What did that transition look like to wanting to teach? Because it is so obvious how much you love it. You love to teach. You throw your heart and soul in it all the time. I hear you constantly talking to the other instructors, say, hey, you know, I'm trying this, or hey, what do you think about that? All the crosstalk, right? And it's beautiful to watch, especially for me. But like you stopped being that center, right? Being the person riding to the person who's teaching others to ride. What triggered that transition?
I've always loved, this is going to sound so nerdy, but I used to daydream about teaching people how to ride when I was little. I would do my lesson, and then I would like fantasize, what would it be like if I did this?
Okay.
And I had instructors at the time who had little ones, and so I would be like, can I teach your daughter can I give your daughter a lesson?
Right.
And they'd be like, yeah, I don't have to watch her for a half hour. Go ahead.
Yep.
And so I did. I was teaching their toddlers how to ride horses because I was having so much fun. And then when I was at Shannon Trails, it was basically a barn full of people who were boarders and kind of doing their own thing. And so I had a friend there who had just bought her first off-the-track thoroughbred, and she's such a talented rider. Oh my gosh. But was like, oh, I have some things I still need to figure out. And I was like, I'll teach you. We'll figure it out together.
Right.
And I loved it. And then being here, I saw what a difference the instructors make in the lives of people. I know the impact that all of my instructors had on me. Every single instructor, I will never forget any of them. They all had something so beautiful and so valuable to teach me. And I, again, am a culmination of all of their teaching and everything that they have learned. And I love to think of myself as like that knowledge passed down. So their trainers have passed that down to them, who passed that down to me. And I love sharing that with my students.
That's so good. You have so many wonderful memories, I'm sure, that you share regularly, I'm sure.
I do. And so many techniques that they taught me that I implement with my own students. And I find myself saying, my trainer did this, and this is why my trainer did this. This is how I felt during this exercise. So these are the things that you can expect. And my students are, you know, your trainer's made you do some weird stuff. And I'm like, but it works.
Right?
Does it not? And they love it. And, you know, like, one of the things that I had a trainer do was put a dressage whip in between my shoulder blades to teach me how to open up my chest while I rode because I would ride collapsed.
Yes.
And I still sit collapsed. And she would say, open up your chest. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And so she put the whip behind my elbows. And I was like, oh.
That's what you mean.
So
got it.
I had students that I was like, all right, open up your chest. Like, and I was showing them how to do it and they weren't getting it. So I was like, Trisha taught me this one. And I did it. And now all I have to say is whip arms. And my students go,
yep,
and they know exactly what to do. And they thought it was the most fun they'd ever had. They're like, this is so silly. They love it.
So works.
And sometimes they're like, can we do whip arms again? I'm like, wow, you guys actually liked that? Okay.
Oh man, those little techniques go a long way, I'm sure.
And so it's so beautiful to be able to pass that down to the next generation of riders.
Absolutely. And then maybe even future instructors.
Yeah.
Right, which is good.
I'm hoping. A couple of them seemed like they really want to go further into this. So I'm hoping to foster that love and passion as much as possible for them.
Good. I can think of a few of our volunteers actually too who are interested. So yes. All right. So we've talked a little bit about your horse background. We've talked a little bit about the transition between being the rider to being the instructor. We started off talking a little bit about Strongwater and kind of what brought you here. You also have a special skill set, right? With being a licensed mental health clinician, right?
Counselor.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm sure that kind of really helps a lot with some of your lessons. And it may not be officially like EFP in your lessons currently. But I know that that's a role that you can absolutely play here at Strongwater as we grow some of our programs. So going from a volunteer, right, to now LMHC, right? How else has your journey here at Strongwater kind of evolved throughout the last couple of years?
It's a good question.
Okay. Because I feel like that's like on two very different spectrums, and you're not done.
No.
Right. You're absolutely, you and I talk on a regular basis, like, ooh, what's that next certification? Ooh, what's that next degree? Or like whatever. Like you are not done.
No,
you have so much potential with you.
I love to learn.
Yes.
My Achilles heel is I love to learn.
Right. So what's been the evolution of Becca here at Strongwater? Because you have other things that you've earned while you've been here. So kind of talk a little bit about that.
I think really what drives me is that love to learn.
Yeah.
I love to collect pieces of knowledge. I love to then take what I've collected and apply it. And throughout my journey here, I mean, everyone here knows so much and everyone here comes from such different backgrounds. I could sit all day and talk to our operations manager.
Yeah.
She is just a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
And same things with our assistant operation managers. They come from such different backgrounds and they have so many different perspectives to offer, and they just a wealth of knowledge. They are fantastic equestrians. And everyone here is always working towards bettering themselves. It's such a lovely culture here where people are always looking for their next certifications. People are looking at, well, I've done this and this, but I really want to do this. What can I do to further my education in that? And so that's so encouraging. So when, I start here as a volunteer and people are going, yeah, you should become an instructor. And then I become an instructor and people are going, you should get your equine specialist in mental health and learning.
Right. Yep.
And
ESMHL. Yep.
And then I get it. And people are like, you should get your pony club.
Yes.
And so that all that encouragement, all of this wealth of knowledge that you learn every single day here just drives you forward.
Yeah, that growth and development has definitely become pretty like to the forefront of our minds, especially over this past year and a half. So ESMHL, right? And then kind of elaborate why ESMHL?
So I eventually would love to be doing equine facilitated psychotherapy here.
Right.
And so part of that is you can be your own equine specialist in mental health and learning. It is not recommended, but you can. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to be in that role and I have the horse knowledge, I should have a good understanding of what my ES knows, what they need to do, and kind of everything that comes with that role. And so getting the certification means that I understand their role inside and out. Therefore, I know how to support them better, and I know how they can support me.
Yes, I can relate to that.
Exactly. You're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So that's really was my driving, and it, at the end of the day, it wasn't an easy certification, but it was for me it was, because that's my focus anyways, is mental health. And so for me, that was like right up my alley. Why not get certified?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just another tool in your toolkit.
Exactly.
Right. And it enables us to do our jobs better here. Right. So going through the workshop is really no easy task.
No.
Going through the education, going through the hours and stuff like that, it takes a lot of effort and energy to do it. And especially if you want to do it well and if you care, right? And which you absolutely do. And so the talent that you bring to the team is really exceptional, Becca.
Thank you.
Like beyond words. I could seriously go on about her for days.
Thank you.
And I'm just like, I know whenever I started as a volunteer here and I got to know the name Becca, right? And then got more involved with the team and learned more about you and got to experience some of your lessons. I don't know if I really volunteered in any of your lessons because I always had to leave generally, but I got to know you in different settings. And just the energy and the love that you bring to what you do, right? And the additional considerations that you put forward in your lessons and all the extra effort that you put in and trying to explore ideas and stuff like that. It's amazing to watch. And you are definitely an inspiration, I know, for several people that I've talked to over the past year and a half. It's just like, oh my goodness, Becca, she's just doing it all. It's awesome. Right? And I know, so like, and a separate note too, I was talking to somebody, who was it? It was a client, and he was kind of standing off to the side from the group lesson. And no, wait, it was one of the support staff who was watching the group lessons that he was support staff for. And he was like, all of these instructors, like, they're really young. He was like, but were you taking their horse experience and stuff? Like, they've got a lot more experience than what anybody really gives you guys credit for. And he's absolutely right. Like, most of you guys are in your 20s, but you might have 20 years of experience with the equestrian world. Like, what it feels like to have a horse that doesn't want to cooperate, right? And you've worked through that. You bring so much talent, so much experience to the conversation that it makes sense that you guys are here, right? And it's just, I don't know. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to watch the culture and stuff like that across the team. And everyone has their unique, different skill sets that they bring to the table. And then, whenever I started learning more about you, and I was really interested in like how you teach, because I was thinking about being that mentee, right? I was thinking about getting my own CTRI, still going through the process 2 years later. But it's just, I don't know. It's awesome. But I have to ask, the nonprofit world is not great, right? It's a challenge in and of itself, but it's incredibly rewarding. But I have to ask, like, why Strongwater? Like, why, what keeps you here? Like, why do you stay?
I think the relationships are a big one. I've built incredible relationships with every single staff member here. Every single staff member here is a good person, just down to their core. They are just good people.
A lot of
people you want in your life, because they are kind, they are fun-loving, they will go the extra mile, and they're just great to be around. They're just great people. They're funny. That is, and it creates such an amazing work culture when you're in a room full of people that you have so much love for and have so much love for you. also the relationships that we build with our horses. The horses here, I mean, they are so fantastic. I know that we will sometimes complain about them and like their tenderisms and things like that. But at their core, these are good horses too. They are, and they all have such amazing, valuable lessons to teach us. And they build unique relationships with every single person. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And the relationships that I feel I've built with them are just so amazing. And then the clients.
Right.
Oh, I love my students. I love them. They are such good little riders. They have such good passion. They are just, I could go on and on about them. They really are. And even a bad lesson is a good lesson with them. They all love horses. And even the ones that are like, I don't know if I like horses, they still have the drive to come here because they know it's helping.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I know.
That's beautiful. And then, I don't know, just there's something so special about this place. I think it's all of that combined, maybe. I don't know. I think another thing is, I mentioned my fiance at the time who I brought here. Is now my spouse.
Yep.
When they started volunteering here, it was, I got to watch them grow as a person. We got to volunteer together. Then they got to volunteer in my lessons. And I got to fall in love with them all over again. I got to fall in love with them deeper than I thought even imaginable. So much so that we got married here. I mean, that was amazing.
Yep.
And so Strongwater is an important part of my journey personally. It's an important part of my love story. And it's an important part of life. I mean, I see the services that we give to people. They are life-saving. People don't understand that horses are life-saving.
What we do here definitely matters.
It matters. We change lives every day. Every time a student walks through those doors, their lives, at least for the next hour, half hour, however long their lesson is, are changed fundamentally.
Yeah. I will have to say, it's, I don't know. So whenever I'm asked a question, okay, what do you do for work? Right. I have such a hard time saying I'm going to go to work. I say I'm going to go to the barn. Right. Because back to your point earlier, you love what you do. It's really not work at that point in time. So anytime in the morning, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go to the barn now. And my husband's like, all right, go ahead and go to work. I'm like, it's not really work. Or if I'm trying to help out with chores or whatever else like that. It's a second home type thing.
Yeah.
It's a way to have peace, which I'm sure you can relate to, a way to reset. And I remember one time my husband and I had a conversation about me, again, using quotes, working late, because I wanted to go in to help out. We had a tour here at the barn, and the organization was looking into granting us money, right, for one of our groups who, working with domestic violence victims, right. And in the conversation, he was talking to me about going to work, and I was like, "Yep, I gotta go." But again, that word "work" didn't sit right. So I still didn't say it. But the way I see it is that we are saving lives in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
So what I do whenever I give a tour, especially to a potential grantor, and they're wanting to fund a program here for veterans or domestic violence victims or anything really to provide that therapeutic benefit. It's kept a lot of people surviving, right, through the tough times, through the great times. So it's literally okay, people might see it at work, see it as work. I see it as a potential way to save a life, right? The same concept of you're reaching out to a fellow veteran. Hey, I'm just checking in on you.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Let's go have a beer. Let's go have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not work. It's what we do.
Yeah.
It's what we do. But anyway, so can definitely see your passion, can feel your energy on so many different levels throughout the lessons, throughout the barn chores, your willingness to help out, even with night check, which is amazing.
There's such a peaceful quiet in doing night check. It's just you and the horses and like the nighttime.
Yeah.
And like you get in the summer, there's the crickets or the cicadas, depending on what kind of summer it is.
Right.
And that like even in the winter, as much as we hate the winter,
Yep.
there's that like quietness when the snow falls. And it's just
Mhm.
it's so intimate to be there with just you and the horses after dark here. It's beautiful.
I remember I covered barn chores a couple of Christmases ago when I was by myself.
Mhm.
I took the opportunity to be outside with Twinkle and just be there with the snowfall and just give her some treats, give her some love. But yeah, can completely understand and relate to that. And I think that like I know other stories that are very similar to ours, and they just it's that sense of peace. It's that place where they can feel grounded, right, and come back to earth from whatever they're spinning out of control over.
Yeah.
Right, and coming back to what's real, what's present here. Right. All right. I could go on for days with you, Becca, but I will have to ask one more thing.
Okay.
All right. So to the general audience, right,
Mhm.
what is something that you might want to like share? Oh, wait, you know what? No, sorry, I lied. A
Okay.
couple more questions. All
Okay.
right. So what are some of your like top 1 or 2 Strongwater stories? Whether it be interaction with a client or family, and then separately favorite horse memories, like top 1 or 2. I know it's hard to pick, but what are some favorites?
It's a good question. Oh my gosh, I have so many client memories. I think the one that was most impactful for me, and this was very early on in my instructing career, and this is kind of what drives me, is I had a student that had some behavioral challenges. When he would become dysregulated, he would often engage in injurious behaviors of himself and others. And the transition between putting the helmet on and getting on the horse was really challenging for him. But when we got him on the horse, he went from completely dysregulated and just, you could tell, just so unhappy.
Painful.
And he just completely changed. The second he was on Tinder, he was so happy.
Yeah.
He would giggle and laugh. And when Tinder would have a particularly bouncy walk, hold his hands out and just have the time of his life. He loved trail rides.
Yeah.
And to see that difference that the horse, quite literally that night and day difference that horses make is what drives me. Because I see that student in all of my students in different ways. My students come in here and they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. Some of them are in middle school right now. They were in elementary school when they started with me. Now they're in middle school.
You've seen that progression.
In middle school,
yeah,
sucks.
Yeah, fact.
Middle school is the worst.
Yeah.
And so they come in here after a day at middle school and they just get to be with their horse. And I think there's something so beautiful in seeing what they come in and they're saying, oh, I got bullied, or oh, this person did this, oh, this teacher, or just like I had gym today. And I remember being a middle school kid. You hate gym. Gym sucks. Gym is the worst. Like, what are we doing? Square dancing today? Or we're doing the pacer test? It's the worst
Line
time
dancing.
of your, yes, it's the worst time of your life.
Yep.
And so having them come in and be like, oh, thank God I'm here today.
Yeah.
And seeing what students connect with which horses. It's those are like the memories that I take home.
Okay.
And what drives me.
It relates to your why.
Yeah.
The why you do this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about horse memories?
Oh my goodness. Our horses here.
I won't ask the favorite horse question. I'm not allowed.
You can, but you're not going to get an answer.
I didn't get one out of Kayla either.
Favorite horse memory? I have so many. Our horses here have such personalities.
Yep.
I have never met a group of horses with such big personalities in my entire life. I will say one memory that made me realize how safe I am is one time I was on a trail ride with Cream. And a groundhog came out of nowhere, scared me straight. I jumped out of the saddle. Yeah. I was literally like out of the saddle and I screamed. And Cream looked at the groundhog, looked back at me, and just kept walking. Kind of like, are you kidding me right now? Yeah. But he kept me so safe. Yeah. He had no issues with that thing. And he was able to, quite honestly, re-regulate me because I was like, whoa! And he paused, and which allowed me to pause and be like, oh, okay, it was just a groundhog.
Get reconnected, yep.
And we were great, and we were fine, and we had a great ride. I took him to the field, and we were cantering in the field, and he was so excited. He galloped. It was a fantastic ride.
Yes. I remember seeing that video.
Yeah. And so he's just, and I don't know, that was a very pivotal moment for me. That entire ride was to Cream's story hits deep and hits hard, you know, he came to us with obvious signs of mistreatment. And so to have him feel safe enough that he could take care of me in that moment.
And to be a horse.
And then exactly to like gallop in the sunshine in a grassy field was so beautiful. It was so beautiful to see. And that's his story of how he heals. Yeah. And he's still on his healing journey from trauma.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think that is so beautiful.
Yep. I've seen how you work with Cream, and even whenever he first got here, it was about trying to get connected with him and have him feel safe, even just as simple as just getting consent from him, permission from him to put your hands on him. But anyway, so all beautiful stuff. I know you have a lesson that starts here in a couple of minutes.
Yes.
Again, I could talk to you for days about stuff, but we will do this again at some point in time later on in the series. So anyway, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Just that this place truly does change lives. It changes the lives of staff. It changes the lives of our clients. It changes the lives of volunteers. It changes the lives of our horses, obviously.
Yeah, making lives better.
And that is quite truly what we do here. And it is so amazing and special to be able to be part of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Becca. All right, audience, thank you for your interest. Thank you for your time. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Take care.